and gentlemen, and welcome to Ramsey, New Jersey, all the way up Route 17 North, here to Don Bosco Prep and Granitel Stadium for a clash between Gibbs Division and Bergen County rivals as the Northern Highlands Highlanders make the short drive here to Don Bosco Prep to face the second-ranked team in the Garden State, and it's all streaming live right here on SSP Video Live right here on YouTube. Joined by Brian Hyde, operating the camera, producing this evening's game. My name is Ryan Holsebus. A big thank you for tuning in wherever you may be as we buckle up for some heavyweight lacrosse between two fierce Bergen County foes. But has been a matchup Bosco's dominated in recent years. They've won the last 5 meetings between these two teams, pretty decidingly too. They've been pretty wide margins. However, just me and Brian here ahead of the start of this evening's game, we're talking about it, how Highlands early in the game, stays in it, makes it real competitive, and then it's more Bosco, just the experience, the skill set, just kind of taking over towards the end of games. But we're going to see how these two teams match up here tonight. And as for Bosco, they come in at 7-3, as I mentioned off the top. The number 2 team in the Garden State. It'll be number 8, James O'Hara, getting the start tonight, the senior here on senior night for the Ironmen. As for Northern Highlands in goal, it's the junior number 8, Liam Hill. Highlands in the white jerseys, black shorts, black helmets. As for Bosco, the opposite. They got black jerseys, white shorts, and white helmets. For Bosco, Scott Conti, a senior, on senior night. Take the opening face-off and wins it, matched up with the junior, number 47, William Klassen. And an early loose ball, and it is Conti that is, about to say slow to get up, but he is still down on the turf. Trainers off the Bosco sideline along with head coach Matt Lane to check on their star face-off man. He's won over 100 face-offs already this season, 66% win percentage. And in his career, just recently eclipsed the 700 face-off wins mark. He's the program all-time leader in face-off wins. We're just 10 seconds into our first quarter. We're going to step aside and take a quick break as Conti's still on the ground. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back live right here on SSP Video. And a quick break. We're back live here from Don Bosco again. We're just 10 seconds into our opening quarter of play on this beautiful Tuesday night, April the 29th. A little bit of a slight breeze, but other than that, it is, or we should probably actually say that the breeze makes it a beautiful day, even nicer, as here's Highlands across midfield and settling now into their offense as they'll slow things down. Here's Jack Henderson, 22 in white along our near wing. He'll play it to the point for Thomas Radigan, the junior, number 3 in white. And now here's Henderson, the senior. He's matched up closely by James Greenhut, senior captain. Again, Bosco's senior day here on this Tuesday, April 29th. Both of these two teams looking ahead to next week's Bergen County tournament. It'll actually begin this Saturday. Highlands will be in action in what will be round 1. Bosco earned a bye. They'll play next Tuesday in the quarterfinal. Again, much more here as we get into tonight's contest, as we're now just over a minute through our opening quarter. Here's Henderson to his right, put the stick in his right hand, great save by O'Hara. And then ball on the ground, great stick check there. It was number 11, the junior Justin Basilina. The Highlands able to recover that loose ball, and it's Thomas Radigan, the junior, standing at the numbers at the 30-yard line. He'll dodge to his right, matched up with Jack Murphy, the senior. And then a handoff here for Hudson Bacalzo. And back for Radigan. Play to the far wing, still behind goal line extended. And that is number 4, Jack O'Callahan, number 4 in white. He played above goal line extended. And now ball on the stick, number 11. That is Ethan Sue. Now the point for Radigan. trying to muscle his way through a few defenders. A couple big stick checks coming. Looked like it was the big stick check of Carson Chervin to knock that ball loose. It's Murphy across midfield, get a touch in the restraining box. He'll hand it off for Hudson Villarreal. Junior's got 10 goals, 9 assists here in 2025. And now to the near numbers, 40-yard line for John Dever, Jr. 15 goals, 19 points here in 2025. A Yale commit. Now Cialetti along the far sideline. A laundry list of notes on the 5-star Duke commit. As Bosco takes their time. Here's Dever to initiate from the near wing, along the near hash. A no-look pass sails up and over the head of number 10 in black. It's going to set up a clear from Northern Highlands along the far sideline. And across midfield, able to stay on side. Good job there by Ethan Sandlofer, number 6, the senior. Now here's Highlands to initiate from the far wing. Past goal line extended. That was number 26, Balcalzo, coming from the X position behind the cage. Unable to control the pass. O'Hara able to control it. Nice outlet pass across midfield. Finds its intended target, but the ball on the ground, and out also comes a flag. Ball still on the ground. Looks like it's going to come against Highlands. And still popped up into the air. Long our near sideline, and that's going to bring us to our whistle. And it will be Highlands to serve. It looks like Jack Henderson, number 22 in white, heads over to the sideline. So a 6-on-5 man advantage here for Bosco. Chance to cut the scoreless tie again, approaching 4 minutes through our opening quarter. As the expectation is that we'll see a handful of seniors filtered in this evening for Bosco that, you know, just with such a competitive team, so, you know, don't really get that opportunity to play all the time. So we'll see a good mix of that here based on what I collected from the sideline here before the game. But here's the man-up offense. Nice tic-tac-toe passing. It was Villarreal in front. And that's Brady Kushner, 20 in black. Missed some time this season due to injury. Still 15 goals. That's now his 16th here in 2025. 23rd point. And as Kushner gives Bosco an early 1-0 lead just over 4 minutes through our first quarter. And good to see, looks like Conti back out there here for the face-off. I believe that's him, number 6 in black. His counterpart, double sixes, is William Lugo. But it is Conti here matched up with Clausen. Bosco with a 1-0 lead. Conti a quick face-off win on the clamp, pops it to himself, and he finds Cialetti. Bosco will slow things down, allows some last-minute substitutions to be made. Green heads to midfield, and now to the sideline as Jason Koo steps in, number 27 in black. Head coach Matt Lane letting me know he's really stepped up Jason Koo here in his junior season. Sure, he found his spot at one of those midfield roles as Cialetti trying to do it all himself. His shot off the mark as he curled up around the crease along the far goal post. It's Ethan Sandlofer getting the early assignment on the Duke commit. As Cialetti handles from the far hash, he'll play it to the far sideline, and now behind goal line extended. It's Dashell Lane. And here's Koo. Dever will control from the point and back to Kushner, who dodged down the right wing And curled back for Cialetti. Nice skip pass across to our near hash as Dever gets his right hand free. Up and over the left shoulder of Liam Hill off stick side. And John Dever gives Bosco a 2-0 lead as we approach the midway point here in quarter number 1. For Dever, 16th goal here in 2025, 20th point. He scored now or more so to keep his streak going. He scored in all but one game now here in his 2025 campaign. Had a big game over his last 2, 3 goals in the win over Mountain Lakes, 3 goals, 4 points in the win over Ridgewood right here. Another face-off win for Scott Conti. And Bosco to control now. Dever from the near hash along the 35-yard line of the football field as we approach the midway point here in our first quarter. 2-0 lead for the Ironmen, number 2 team in the Garden State. A couple big games as well taking place here today. Earlier, I'll try to get a score, but earlier today we had Mountain Lakes. Actually, that's for tomorrow, excuse me. We had number 5 Moorestown taking on Manasquan, number 10 in the state. That was a 4 o'clock start, so that should be over. I'll try to get a score update on that one. Manasquan, the only undefeated team in the NJ Top 20. Would have to imagine they're most likely the only undefeated team left in New Jersey. Here's Villarreal from the top of the restraining box. He's going to get pushed out wide, but he's going to cut his way back in, and Hudson Villarreal, the junior, nets his 11th goal here of 2025. For a moment, thought he was going to be pushed towards the far sideline. He was pushed beyond the far hash. It was Hudson Bloch, the junior, number 55, in coverage. But then Villarreal able to get the corner back to his left and sneaks it under Liam Hill. A 3-0 lead with 5:27 left to play in quarter number 1 for the Don Bosco Prep Ironmen. So not the start that Northern Highlands was hoping for. 3 early goals, and Clausen unable to get settled at the face-off. Ex-Conti's won the opening 4 draws. Here's Cialetti from the far hash, 20-yard line, about 10 yards from the cage.
Goal scored by number 15.
Heard a little pipe Brady there on that one too. Brady Cialetti, goal number 32 here in 2025. As for the Ironmen, it is open season. Let them fly here. Again, we're just over 6.5 minutes through our first quarter, already a 4-0 lead for Don Bosco Prep. And a change up here at the face-off stripe. Be Luke Hollander, number 28 in white, to take it. Conti wins his 5th here of the afternoon. A quick shot and score. It's James Greenhut, the senior, getting in on the goal-scoring action.
Scored by number 14, James Greenhut.
Coach Matt Lane let me know James Greenhut really just that do-it-all player, the hardest worker we have. So when you see him score a goal, typically that defensive midfielder grinds it out on the face-off wins, on the transition play. Loves when a guy like that gets to score a goal, gives his team a 5-0 lead. Again, we're not even at the 5-minute mark in quarter number 1. Bosco early, filling up the score sheet. Conti, another face-off win. Highlands that time opting for a pull. It was the junior Augie Ratner. Mark that down as 6 for the senior Conti. As Cialetti controls from the top of the restraining box along the near hash, excuse me. Bosco will check in an offensive player. It's Nate Longway, number 46 in black. He controls from the top of the restraining box, plays it to his left to our near wing. And now behind the cage for Dashiell Lane. And then to the near wing for Cialetti, back to Longway at the point. Koo along the near numbers. It's a long way at the point. Cialetti looked like he was about to hitch into one. Nice skip pass in front. Lane finds Villarreal, the junior, his second.
Don Bosco goal scored by number
here in
91,
quarter number 1.
Hudson Villarreal.
Goal number 12 on the season. As the Sacred Heart commit makes it 6-0 Ironmen. Villarreal scored 2 goals versus Ridgewood. And then over the last 2 games for Don Bosco, was quiet on the score sheet. Early here though in this one, 2 goals in what is the opening almost 8 minutes of play. And another win for Conti, pushes it forward. And he'll play it off to his left for our latest goal scorer, number 91 in black, Hudson Villarreal. Bosco coming in to this game fresh off 3 straight wins. Dating back to about 2 weeks ago, they took down the number 8 team in the state, Ridgewood, 10-3 right here at Granatell. And then traveled last week to Mountain Lakes, 16-6 win. And then LaSalle out in Pennsylvania was an 8-5 win on Saturday. Nice pass in front. Cialetti with the fake to the point for Dever. And then the skip pass in front. Believe that was Kushner that pass found. And the shot off the mark. Ball to play along our near sideline. It'll be Heston Halesworth to initiate. Now Dever at the point. Backs his way to midfield. And will initiate from there. Matched up with Ethan Sue, number 11 in white. Will switch off. Good job by Highlands to get a pull on him, and what a shot from Hudson Villarreal, the hat trick on the run to his right.
Goal scored by
and he snags
91,
that
Hudson Villarreal.
upper near corner, up over the stick side of Liam Hill. A hat trick for Villarreal in our opening, not even 9 minutes of play. And that gives Bosco a commanding 7-0 first quarter lead. As Highlands will send number 5. That's Augie Ratner, the junior, back out again to attempt this face-off. As Conti again all over it. They'll play it behind him. And the ground ball easily secured by number 28. That is Tim Norum, senior. Bosco to settle back into their 6-on-6. Koo a touch in the restraining box. To Lane, back to Koo. It'll be Jason Koo to initiate to the middle of the field from the near numbers. Skips it back for Halesworth. Nice handle there by Halesworth. It was a bounce pass, and he was able to pick it up off the turf. And now played for Kushner along the far wing. Played to the point for Halesworth. Now Lane along the near numbers and behind the cage for Cialetti. He's going to attack to his right, and it looked like that shot went off the helmet of Liam Hill, off maybe the crossbar as well, popped up in the air. Cialetti able to control it, and another shot on the run to his right. Dashiell Lane this time. And that's his 8th goal here in 2025. An 8-0 lead now for Don Bosco. Northern Highlands an offensive possession or two early into this contest, but ever since then, it's been Scott Conti face-off win, Don Bosco offensive possession goal. And just a pretty simple repeat of that here over our first 10 minutes of action. Don Bosco Prep, one of the class programs here in New Jersey. Again, 7-3, their 3 losses coming to out-of-state opponents. They have a very impressive in-state record. I should say a very impressive in-state winning streak. Their 3 losses coming to Chaminade, at Chaminade. They lost in Pennsylvania at Haverford. Those are back-to-back losses. and then a Sunday after that April snow that we got. A loss against Fairfield Prep, the #1 team and the reigning state champ for the Class Double L in the state of Connecticut. Here's a skip pass in front of a wide open Hudsonville Rule, and it was Hill to get a piece of it, and then the crossbar keeps our score at 8-0. There's a wide open Villa Rule looking for his 4th goal here in quarter number 1. As Highlands gets it across midfield, and now 10 seconds to get a touch into the restraining box, and they're able to do just that. Here's Sue, and we'll play it behind the cage. It's for Tarleton. Now ready to the high wing for Radigan. Radigan covered closely by Kushner. Radigan will play to his right. Play it behind. Here's Tarleton. Started to his left and then curled back to his right. Plays it for O'Callahan. His shot off the near pipe. As James O'Hara, the first quarter shutout, is held intact by our near side pipe. Great shot there by O'Callahan, his first here of the evening. And Bosco able to play it across midfield. It's Heston Halesworth. And a wide open goal. And taking a shot at it was number 24 in black. That's Declan McInerney, the junior. In transition, took a chance at it as Highlands in the 10-man ride. And with the backup, Bosco will control offensively. These are inside 20 seconds here in quarter number 1. Kushner, a behind-the-back chance, or called a behind-the-back attempt there. Running out of an angle as he was making his way to his right along the near, or I should say the far hash. Here's Jason Koo to initiate from the near hash. To his left now, puts the stick back in his right hand. Skip shot for Cialetti. He was winding up into one and was able to fling a shot out on goal, and a good thing Liam Hill got a piece of it, because I think that one might have went in there if he didn't get a deflection on it. He tips it up and over the crossbar, and the quarter buzzer sounds. The end of our first quarter. Don Bosco a commanding 8-0 lead. Don't go anywhere. Quick break, and we'll be back for quarter number 2 action live right here on SSP Video.
Take over control. Take over control. Take over control. Oh, I want you to take over control. Plug it in and turn me on. I want you to take over control. Take over control. Take over control. Oh, I want you to take over control. Plug it in and turn me on. Baby, can't you see that I'm giving all of me? So it's up to you now. We can let time pass away or make an excuse to play, but it's up to you.
Back here live, ladies and gentlemen, at Granitel Stadium, Don Bosco Prep here in Ramsey, New Jersey. A Bergen County clash between Don Bosco and Northern Highlands. An 8-0 first quarter lead for the Ironmen. Opportunity to introduce our 2 head coaches as our 2 teams retake the field for quarter number 2. As Highlands sends Ethan Sandlaufer, number 6 in white, the senior, to take a chance here at Scott Conti. He's been basically perfect here in that first quarter at the face-off stripe. We'll see it down set and another Conti face-off win. He'll juggle it for a moment. Can't call it done till it's done. And it actually was recovered by Highlands, still on the ground. And it looks like the Northern Highlands sideline able to get a timeout in there before the turnover, before the ball hit the turf again. That was number 22, Jack Henderson, the senior, able to control that ground ball and gift his team a timeout and keep possession here, as Highlands really needs to be very careful now with their possessions, as they're going to have to try to claw their way back into this one. Just mentioned Northern Highlands head coach Kyle Ojakian, 18th season at the helm of the Highlanders ever since 2007. Led Northern Highlands to the 2018 New Jersey Group 3 Championship. He was the Coach of the Year that year, as well as the 2014 New Jersey Group 2 Coach of the Year. Has over 30 years of playing and coaching experience. Went to high school in Cheshire, up in Connecticut. Holds the record for assists in a game, as well as assists in a single season, 9 and 63 respectively. In 1997 and 1998 first team All-State member. And he was the 1998 New Haven Register Player of the Year in Connecticut. And then in college, he went to Providence, a 2002 grad. Holds the record for assists in a season. In 2002, had 42 assists that led NCAA Division I. Also holds the record for points in a season at Providence. He's had 63 points in that 2002 season. He was the first ever All-MAAC first team selection, 2001, and then he did again in 2002. As Highlands out of the timeout, controls from the top of the restraining box. Also the founder and director of Brotherhood Lacrosse is Highlands head coach Kyle Ojakian. Here's O'Callahan, who'll play it to top of the restraining box, and now the far hash. Here's Sue, dancing to his right, covered closely by his counterpart in 11, and that's Justin Basilina. And it's Henderson, skipping to his left, covered by Tim Norum. Henderson will play it behind for Balcalzo, who will play it to the point for Thomas Radigan. Radigan to his right, try to get back to his left. Good defense there by the Bosco short stick defensive midfielders, Norum, and I believe that's Jack Murphy, number 26 in black. And I'm going to correct myself, it's 21, Andrew Crokey, the senior. Here's O'Callahan, who's working his way north of goal line, extended along our near wing. Plays it for Sue. Sue with the shot on the run along the far hash as he was on his way to his right, on the run to his right. His shot wide of the cage. We'll stay right here with Northern Highlands. And that shot beats James O'Hara up over his stick side, over his right shoulder.
Highlands goal scored by number 4.
It's Jack O'Callahan to get the goal scoring started for Northern Highlands. About a minute 43, if my math is correct. Minute 43 into our second quarter. Makes the score 8-1. For Jack O'Callahan, that's goal number 16, point number 46. He leads the Highlanders in points. Had 7 points just about a week ago in the loss to Ridgewood, the 14-10 loss. Another face-off win for Bosco and Conti. Shot saved there by Hill. Ball still on the ground, recovered by Villarreal, and another shot saved. Not sure if that went off a defender or if it made its way all the way to Liam Hill. It's going to be Radigan across midfield for Highlands. He'll get a touch in the restraining box. So Highlands able to cut the deficit, able to get on the scoreboard. Now see if they can get some things materialized here. That's a bobble there on the pass. Able to recover was Henderson. And now Sue to his right. A little bit of a re-dodge there along the far hash. His shot, sidearm shot, sailed high and wide of the cage. Possession will stay right here. Tarleton to trigger it from the near corner. For Radigan at the point. Radigan matched up with Rocco Scalia, sophomore, number 3. Here's Sue. Gets back to his left And plants, and his bounce shot skips wide the cage. Be Bacalzo. Bacalzo to take it from the end line. Here's Radigan. Number 3 matched up with Scalia. Number 3. Radigan to his left. And a little bit of a limp there coming out of his dodge. There's Sue. Again to his right. And a nice save by O'Hara. And the ball lost up in his jersey. A quick whistle. But we'll get a quick restart. Great save there by James O'Hara. I believe that was his second here in half number 1. So we approach 4 minutes to play here in quarter number 2. And O'Hara, a bit of a toe drag to evade his defender. Here's a shot on goal. It's up and over the crossbar, and Cialetti, however, unable to win the run out to the end line. Liam Hill gets there first, and that'll gift Highlands a possession. Again, still trailing 8-1. It'll be Sandlofer carried across our near sideline. He'll play it across the field. His fellow defender Jake Aswami. And the junior plays it across midfield, finds William Clausen, the junior. Clausen will head off, allow an offensive player, Thomas Radigan, to check in. So we're 4 minutes through quarter number 2. As for Highlands, they come in fresh off a weekend win over St. Joe's at St. Joe's Montville, 7-4. Took down Tenafly about a week before that. 15-3 on the road. And then a shutout on the road at Glenrock. Before that, it was 4 consecutive losses, though, as this pass is off the mark. And an easy ground ball here for Scalia as he pushes the pace in transition. Odd man rush, Cialetti skip pass across, and Jack Murphy unable to control that pass. However, he was able to knock it down. Villarreal able to collect along the far sideline to keep the possession right here with Don Bosco Prep. And Cialetti will now control from the near numbers. As Highlands, as I was mentioning, started the season with 4 wins, then 4 consecutive losses. On the road at Chatham, on the road at Princeton, a 7-6 loss at home versus Immaculata, and then a 9-3 loss at Ridge. Prior to that, it was, again, as I mentioned, 4 straight wins. So a 7-5 Northern Highlands team. Again, playing this game here against Bosco, and then they'll be looking ahead to Saturday's Bergen County Tournament Round 1 matchup with Paramus, the 12 seed, as Highlands drew the 5 seed there in that Bergen County Tournament. Pass up over the head of Brady Kushner. He knocked it down, but was unable to get to the sideline in time. It'll be a turnover. Highlands to trigger it in from the near sideline as we approach the midway point in quarter number 2. Sandlofer, a long outlet pass across the field, across midfield, finds William Clausen, the junior. As for Don Bosco Prep, the number 1 seed, and a bye straight to the quarterfinal. Bosco will await the winner of Glenrock, the number 8 team in the Bergen County Tournament, and Westwood, the number 9 team. That quarterfinal to be played next Tuesday, May 6th. Then the semifinal to be played Thursday, May 8th. The championship, Saturday, May 10th at 6 p.m. from Mahwah High School. Here's Sue. His shot beats James O'Hara. As Sue, a bit of a acrobatic finish there. He had the stick in his right hand. I don't know if he got it back in his left hand or if he was able to, what they call Canadian it, sort of, keep it in your right hand, but shoot it awkwardly in a way where, really in the American players would say, I want to put it in the left, but the Canadians more so box across. They like to keep the stick in one hand. Nice job there, though, by Sue getting back to the middle of the field. That's 2 consecutive goals for Northern Highlands to make it 8-2 with 5:34 left to play in our first half. And Conti will continue his dominance from the face-off stripe. Again, entered the evening 66% on the season, that was last year, 68% face-off last year, 66% also in his 4-year decorated varsity career. As we approach 5 minutes to play here in our first half. Halesworth played to the middle of the field for Longway. Nate Longway streaks across the field to our near sideline, plays it for Halesworth, and now behind for Villarreal. Longway to initiate from our high near wing. Play back for Cialetti. Has the mismatch with Clausen. Highlands sideline, screaming for the slide to Brady Cialetti,
Bosco goals
because you
by
can't
number
let the Duke
15,
commit
Brady Scaletti.
get to his right and then put the stick back in his left hand that easily. A bounce shot finish beats Liam Hill, and Bosco a 9-2 lead with 4:40 left to play in our first half. For Cialetti, the senior, standing 6'3", 200 pounds. His 33rd goal here in 2025, good for point number 44. He's been filling up the stat sheet this season. He's now scored 2+ points in each game, able to continue that streak here tonight. Another point, or he might have honestly had an assist, so he might have already reached this, but he's had 3+ points in 9 of 10 games this season entering tonight. And he's got a hat trick in 8 games thus far. Looking to make it 9 here as it's double sixes. William Lugo, his first face-off win here of the evening. Another face-off, or another possession, for Bosco as we approach 4 minutes to play. Will be coup from the near hash to Kushner. As Bosco will play it around. For Villarreal behind, and now along the far numbers for Koo. Jason Koo, and back the point for Dever. It'll be Koo to initiate from the high near numbers. Down the far alley, puts the stick back in his right hand as Bosco checks back to the top of the restraining box. Now it'll be Dever, matched up with Radigan to his right. Fake the skip pass inside. Here's a nice skip pass in front as Dashiell Lane finds Hudson Villarreal for goal number 4 on the evening. For Villarreal, now goal number 14 on the season. The junior having himself a day. The Sacred Heart commit makes it 10-2 with 3:40 left to play in our first half. So Bosco, a bit of a lull here to start quarter number 2. And then just like that, they snap off 2 goals in the blink of an eye. Cialetti and then Villarreal on the nice skip pass in front. Conti another face-off win, and just final thought on that. A nice cut there as well by Villarreal, right? Always talk about nice dodges. Can always lord over the great shots, but Villarreal, they've already seen it now, I think, 2 or even on that third goal. Off-ball movement, putting himself in a good situation to receive the ball, and great finish. 4 goals later, it's 10-2 Bosco. As we approach 3 minutes to play, I'll take a chance here to introduce Don Bosco head coach Matt Lane, his second season as head coach. As it was Halesworth, skip pass in front. Villarreal, shot saved by Liam Hill. Ball on the ground, recovered by, that's Dashiell Lane. He'll play it for Longway. Bosco to keep possession here offensively, as Longway ran towards goal line extended, then curled back north, and will play it to Dashiell Lane. But head coach Matt Lane, a 2018 Syracuse graduate. Matt has 19 goals, 19 assists in his career. What a pass in front. Dashiell Lane, and I believe that was Kushner. What looked like a Cialetti, quick catch and release. And I believe a timeout from the Don Bosco sideline, their first here of half number 1, with 2:22 left to play in our first half. I'll keep it right here. We'll introduce the Bosco coaches. Just mentioned Matt Lane, 2018 Syracuse grad, was captain his senior year. He's a 2013 Montclair Kimberly graduate, a 2013 U.S. Lacrosse All-American. He was a 3-sport athlete, also a basketball player and a soccer goalie, won back-to-back state titles. As a member of the Montclair Kimberly soccer team to go along with 900 plus points, 1,000 plus rebounds as a basketball player, and a 2012 non-public B state title. He's joined by Brian Cavanaugh in his second season as an assistant defensive coordinator for Bosco. He's a former goalie, works a lot with the riding and clearing for the Ironmen. He was a 4-year starting goalie at Deer Park, 2-year captain, and a 2009 Adidas All-America selection. Went on to play at Princeton, made 8 appearances in goal. And then he spent 5 seasons as an assistant at the University of Vermont, some time out in California on Long Island as an assistant coach. He's also an assistant with the Utah Archers of the PLL. He's been an assistant with them since the inaugural 2019 season. I've done some cool media stuff, gotten a chance to interview some coaches with the PLL, Chris Bates of the Utah Archers being one of them. The best substituting team in the league is how the Archers are commonly referred to, and it's Brian Cavanaugh who operates the substitution box there for the Archers. At just 26 years old, he became an assistant coach for the new league for the new team in the new league, Cialetti. My goodness. Lulled the Northern Highlands defense to sleep, and with his left hand catches that far corner. It's a hat trick for Cialetti, his 9th hat trick here in 2025. It's 11-2 Bosco. My goodness. He let that one go in a flash. Trying to highlight my guy Cavanaugh over there on the sideline. So now 3 straight goals rattled off by Bosco. And then Bosco also Frank Lugo down on the sideline. 9th season with the program, handles the face-off and wing play, and has been pivotal to Scott Conti based on what Coach Lane let me know. MBA Fordham, 28 years of military experience, so you know that the Ironmen very disciplined in their approach here as we're inside 2 minutes here in half number 1. And then also Anthony Falco down on the sideline for Don Bosco, his 5th season with the program. He's a former Don Bosco lacrosse and football player. Won a couple of football state championships and national titles. So we approach 1:30 to play in our first half. It's coup from the point to Cialetti along the near numbers. Crisp passing by the Ironmen. We've been seeing it all evening and frankly all season. Number 2 team in the state. And as I say that, Cialetti looked like he was faking a pass, and it looks like he just lost the handle on it. Ball on the ground, and Highlands able to come out of it with possession. As we approach 1 minute to play, it's Sandloffer along our near sideline across midfield. Highlands able to stay on side. 10 seconds to get into the restraining box across the 30-yard line. Dever, some strong defense, gonna D-twig the long stick, and a whistle from our far sideline official. And it looks like it is going to be a delay. It is a clock violation called against Northern Highlands. Thought they were going to whistle Dever there. What a ride there by the junior captain headed to Yale, John Dever, in an 11-2 lead. Strong riding there to prevent Sandloffer from getting into the restraining box. And the turnover gives Don Bosco one last offensive possession as we're now inside 30 seconds. Here is John Dever from the near high corner. Play for Cialetti along goal line extended. Dever able to step into one. A nice save by Liam Hill. Ball on the ground recovered by Northern Highlands as we hit the 15-second mark. Cross midfield. It's Augie Ratner, the junior, touching the restraining box. 7 seconds left. Here's Henderson. Can he get a shot off? Put on his back. Ball out. And on the ground, recovered by Aiden Kang. And the halftime buzzer sounds. Great defensive stand there by Bosco to prevent any last-second shot from getting off. As we'll head to halftime, Bosco a commanding 11-2 lead after our opening 24 minutes of action. Don't go anywhere. We'll have about an 8 to 9 minute halftime break. We'll be back on the other side. You might see a pause here in your stream. Don't worry. We'll be back, like I said, in the next 8 minutes or so for half number 2 action live here from Granatell Stadium in Don Bosco Prep High School. Ryan Holsmus alongside cameraman and producer Brian Hyde. We appreciate you joining us here from Ramsey, New Jersey. Look at the burgers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Don Bosco Prep Granatell Stadium on this beautiful Tuesday. Couldn't have asked for a better end of April day. You gotta double check here on the temperature. 75 as of 7:24 here on this beautiful Tuesday. As Don Bosco Prep a commanding 11-2 lead as we start half number 2. And Scott Conti, he's been dominant here this evening. He wins another. And across midfield plays it for Hudson Villarreal, who has also been just as dominant. 4 goals in the first half for the Ironmen. Netted 3 of them in the first quarter. And again, we'll tally Conti with another face-off win. We got a change in goal. It was James O'Hara, the senior, here on senior night. O'Hara, the backup to the Rutgers commit Brody Corey, O'Hara, Siena commit, headed there next season. As in cage, taken over, it's Ethan Park, the senior, number 48, here on senior day. Shot from the outside. I looked down for a moment. I believe it was from Cialetti from the far hash. Just based on his body language as I looked up. It'll be Dever from the point now. Cialetti along the far numbers for Dashiell Lane behind. Now Koo into the near hash for Dever. He'll dodge to his right, back to the middle of the field. Now Cialetti from the far numbers for Jason Koo from the near hash. Bosco, crisp ball movement. And as I mentioned before, great off-ball movement by Hudson Villarreal in particular. That was Dashiell Lane catching a corner.
Number 2, Dash Lane.
From, called about 6 yards away from the cage. A little bit just outside the near hash. Makes our score 12-2 Ironmen. For Dashiell Lane, his second goal for the sophomore here of the evening as the sun begins to set behind us. As we're a minute 12 into half number 2. Conti will take a seat. William Lugo, 66 in black, with the face-off win. Got him tallied down in his second of the evening. As Lugo will find Cialetti. And a touch into the restraining box for the Ironmen. As we're a minute and a half through half number 2. Here's Heston Halesworth, the sophomore. For Heston Halesworth along our near wing. Dever at the point. Bosco with the crisp passing around the outside, around the perimeter. And when you do that crisp passing, it's when you look for Hudson Villarreal off ball. He'll control it now along the near side hashes. No look pass, skip pass from Dever, and Halesworth, the underhand, Dashiell Lane, number 2 in black. The underhand shot sails high over the crossbar, but what a skip pass there by Johnny Dever. Here's Cialetti, matched up with Jack Henderson. His shot sails off the mark. Possession will stay right here. Dashiell Lane, number 2 in black, with the backup. As Hillsworth will carry to the middle of the field. Now back to our near sideline for Dever. Lane behind the goal for Cialetti along the far numbers. And nice stick. Nice deflection there by Highlands. Ethan Sandloff were able to get a stick on it. And a nice check there to dislodge Johnny Dever of the ground ball. But picked up by Halesworth. Quick shot on cage as Halesworth made his way towards the cage. He was about, call it 6 or 5 yards from the goal. His shot off the mark. Lane almost didn't have too much of an angle from our near wing, but he'll play it behind. Here's Villarreal. North of goal line extended, looking for a pass. Adjacent for Dashell Lane. Here's Halesworth. Dever along the far hash mark. For Cialetti. No look pass. Want to say Villarreal in the middle there. The crease got a piece of it. Ball slowly makes its way to the near corner. Dashell Lane able to recover. Skip pass in front and a catch and shot by Cooper O'Brien Bruno, the junior, number 12 in black. Saved by Hill, and O'Brien Bruno able to recover his own miss. Here's Cialetti. Dever from the far hash, about 15 yards from the cage, and Liam Hill able to get a piece of that one and send it up and over the crossbar. Dashell Lane will trigger it in from the end line. For Dever, here's Cialetti. Can't give him that much room. Looks like that shot got knocked down on its way there. Out of bounds along our near sideline. It'll be Heston Halesworth to initiate. From goal line extended. For Halesworth behind his fellow sophomore, now back to Lane. Dever, the Yale commit junior, dodge from the point. Goes east-west, plays it for Cialetti, behind now for Lane. For Halesworth. For Lane, or excuse me, Dever, and he rings one off the crossbar. Shot bounced all the way to the track. Fortunately, hit the fence along our near sideline before bouncing into the parking lot and jeopardizing a car. Here's Dever from the far hash, top of the restraining box. Cialetti faked the pass behind. Dever, too much space. He lets one load up and fire.
Don Bosco goal.
The junior captain, Johnny Dever, his second goal here on this Tuesday afternoon, extends Bosco's lead to 13-2. As we approach the 7-minute mark here in our third quarter. Now back-to-back goals for the Ironmen to open up our second half of play. For the junior Dever, it's goal number 17 on the season. And it's his 80th goal in his 3-year varsity career. Scored 28 goals as a sophomore in 2023, 35 as a junior last season. Or excuse me, as a sophomore last season, 2023 as a freshman. 28 goals, 14 assists. Good for 42 points as a freshman, excuse me. Here's Lugo. Won the face-off, ended up making its way back to goalie Ethan Park, and Bosco able to clear across midfield and a touch in the restraining box. And another possession here for the Ironmen. As the lights come on here at Granite Stadium, my sunglasses come off. We approach the midway point in quarter number 3. Cialetti can allow a change to be made. It was Eli Drivas, senior Penn College commit, making his way to the sideline. Kushner tried to get a left-handed shot off, and I think it was knocked down on its way there. Recovered by Highlands, and they play it now across midfield. Ethan Sue, the junior, gonna have to get a touch in the restraining box here, and he'll do just that. Nate Longwood didn't give him too much of a challenge there. As here's Henderson, hounded by the pole. And his pass deflected and recovered. It's Brendan Monagle, 27 in white. Bounce pass for Henderson, able to control it with Justin Bossolina, the junior, number 11 in black, all over him. Henderson, hounded by 3 defenders. Flag comes in from our far sideline official along goal line extended. And that'll give Northern Highlands a power play opportunity. 6-on-5 chance coming up here for the Highlanders. Trailing by 11 goals with 5:44 left to play in quarter number 3. Looks like it'll be number 28, Tim Norum, the senior, to serve it. Norum heading to Cortland next season to continue his academic as well as lacrosse career. So a 6-on-5 opportunity here for Northern Highlands. Chance to try to cut the deficit to 10. They skip pass in front for Henderson. A great save there from Ethan Park. Senior, just his second save here on the season. Keeps our score 13-2. It's Greenhut, cross midfield, touching the restraining box. And he'll find fellow senior Jack Murphy. So here's Cialetti. He's going to skip into the restraining box. And Bosco will make a few changes here for getting their next offensive possession underway. Penalty is released. We're back to all even as we're inside 5 minutes to play in quarter number 3. Our officials this evening, because I just realized we haven't introduced our officials. It's Randy Mills, your head official, joined by Steve Reed and Jim Livingstone. Here's Dever from the point for Jason Koo. And behind for Dashell Lane. Now back to the point for Dever. Bosco in no rush. Crisp passing around the perimeter by the Ironmen. Cialetti along the far numbers. Already has a hat trick here this evening. Nice stick there by number 9 in white. That's the junior Jake Goswami. However, Cialetti able to recover the loose ball. Dashell Lane unable to control it, but able to corral the ground ball. Here's Koo. Steps into one from the far hash, rattles one off the crossbar, and sails it high and into the greenery on the far sideline. Too many open shots. Even that one right there by Kushner. And you can't give these guys 3-4 yards of space. You got to extend out to them, and really, as they're catching the ball, you got to be on their hands immediately. Like even right here, Jason Koo's got 2-3 yards of space. Number 5, his stick, that's Augie Ratner. You got it right like that. Have to have your stick on the hands. Even here for Cialetti, got to have somebody on his hands. Hudson Villarule, 5th goal of the evening. Off ball again.
Don Bosco goal scored.
Put on a clinic. That's goal number 15 now here on the 2025 campaign for the junior Hudson Villarule. Sacred Heart commit makes our score 14-2. He's got to get sticks on hands. I mean, that one was just good off-ball movement as we've been discussing here throughout the evening, especially by number 91 in black, the junior Villarule. But even on the pass, got to have a stick extended. Got to have a stick on the hands. Will Lugo with the face-off win, but an infraction called against Ethan Sandlaw for 6 and white. The long pull on the face-off. So the gift Bosco a possession here. So we approach 3 minutes to play. 14-2 lead for the Ironmen, the number 2 team in the Garden State. Looking to improve to 8-3 ahead of a heavily looked. How do I want to term this? More so, I just want to say number 2 Don Bosco versus New York number 1 St. Anthony's. A box office meeting on Saturday at St. Anthony's. Number 1 team in the state of New York. For each of Bosco's top stud player, St. Anthony's has won a match. They lost on, I believe it was Thursday night, to Chaminade. A 1-goal game. I think it was 11-10 Chaminade, the win over St. Anthony's at St. Anthony's. Here's Cialetti, underhand finish. And not a defender in sight. That's goal number 4 for the senior Cialetti.
Goal scored by number 15,
35
Brady
now on the season. And it looks like a timeout to be taken or maybe not a timeout, just the defense heading over to the Northern Highlands sideline. Can't let, Cialetti had, 5 yards, nobody on his hands. You can't allow that. Got to have sticks on the hands. Got to be extended. Inside 2 minutes, running clock as Bosco a 15-2 lead. It'll be Lugo again from the face-off stripe. Matched up with, looks like Sandlaw for picking up a short stick. Or it was Sandlaufer with his long pole. Lugo another face-off win. A nice defensive play there by Highlands. Pushing the pace, it's Ethan Sue. Right-handed shot on the run and a save by Ethan Park. And Bosco quickly the other way to Villarreal. Big-time games also going on tomorrow. Some games to look out for. Mountain Lakes headed to Ridgewood, number 8 team in New Jersey. Clash of top 20 teams. Number 4 Summit heading to Rumson Fairhaven, number 20 team in New Jersey. Then on Thursday, number 17 Ramapo will head to Chatham. We'll see Chatham come here to Granatell Stadium in a couple of weeks, May 15th. Chatham, the current number 12 team in New Jersey. And then it's a loaded Saturday. As I mentioned, Bergen County round 1. Here's Hudson Villarreal right in front. And a little bit of a deke, and then the underhand attempt off the mark. Back up by Dashell Lane, who will keep the possession right here with Bosco. It's Lane skipping towards goal line, extended now north. Shot from number 19 in black. That's Benny Hurowitz, the sophomore, is saved by Hill. It's Ethan Sue, the junior, across midfield into the restraining box for Highlands. Looking to load up for a shot, and dislodged. A nice defensive play there by the senior number 88, Strauss Daniel. And just like that, again, running clock, third quarter. Clock snuck up on us there. Double zeros on the Bosco scoreboard will bring us to the third quarter break, our final break here of our evening game here at Bosco. 15-2 lead for the Ironmen. 12 minutes left to play. Don't go anywhere. Ryan Holzbus along with Brian Haynes Hyde, on camera production with you. Sorry about that, Brian. Back here live, ladies and gentlemen, from Don Bosco Prep High School in Granatell Stadium. Live here on SSP Video. You can find SSP Video at SSP Video, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Specializing in highlights, obviously game productions as well. Ryan Holzbus with you alongside cameraman and producer Brian Hyde. We appreciate you joining us again on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Perfect April 29th. As we quickly approach the month of May, and hopefully some great weather like we have here today will continue into the new month. We're gonna have a goalie change. It was Ethan Park, the senior, getting some action there in quarter number 3 after James O'Hara held things down in our first half of play. The backup here for the Ironmen. It's now the senior Evan McHugh, the Stevens Institute of Technology lacrosse commit, number 77 in black, to check in here for quarter number 4 here on senior night here for Don Bosco Prep. And likely to see a handful of other names here as well here in our fourth quarter on senior night for the Ironmen. As behind cage right now, it's Dean Chisano, number 5 in black, the sophomore, as he ends up on the turf. Nice defensive play there by Liam Hill, the junior goalie, coming out of his goal crease to recover that loose ball. plays it for Augie Ratner, the junior, who will look for help in the middle of the field. And across midfield is Jack Henderson, number 22 in white, along the far sideline. Nice pass, and it finds Jack O'Callahan, the junior. It's his second goal here of the evening for the junior O'Callahan.
Goal scored by
Make it goal number
4.
17, point number 47 for the Northern Highlands leading goal scorer and leading point scorer. Leads the team in assists is the junior Jack O'Callahan. That's his second here of the evening. Makes the score 15-3 Don Bosco. And that breaks the Don Bosco scoring stretch. And for Highlands, their first goal here in half number 2. William Lugo, another face-off win. Nice pass inside into the crease. The long pull. It's number 54. Wish I had a name for that number 54. He just got a great goal in transition.
Pat Martinez.
Unsettled situation. We appreciate our PA announcers. It's Patrick Martinez. I got him as number 55, but we're in 54 here this evening. His first goal of the season, first goal of his career for the junior Pat Martinez. As we're inside 10 minutes here in quarter number 4, 16-2 lead now for Don Bosco as the Ironmen look to improve to 8-3. And again, a big matchup with St. Anthony's on Saturday ahead of next week's Bergen County tournament. Bosco, again, the 1 seed, the favorites. They've won the last 4 Bergen County titles. Going to make it 5 in a row. Nice ground ball by the senior Sandlofer up across midfield and into the restraining box. Ahead of steam. A swim move attempt on Andrew Croakey. Not something I recommend with a long pull. Ball will kick its way towards midfield, still on the turf. The scrum for it continues. And coming away with it is number 9 in white, Jake Goswami, the junior. And he's stripped by Croakey. Martinez with the ground ball, trying to find McHugh. Pass wasn't exactly the crispest one, but McHugh able to track it down and now head of steam up towards midfield. Finds his intended target, Dean Chisano, the sophomore. And he'll get a touch into the restraining box. As we approach 8 minutes to play here in our 4th quarter. Again, Bosco a 16-2 commanding lead. Look at that. Controlling it right now. The senior number 8 in black, James O'Hara, the backup goalie. His skip pass didn't find its intended target. And a quick clear by goalie Liam Hill. And his Northern Highlands up across midfield. It's Ethan Sue, the junior, settled in. Just a goal here this evening for the junior coup. So Callahan, 2 goals on the evening to initiate from the near wing. Middle of the field, looking for help. He has a teammate behind him, but he's stripped. And Bosco now looking to clear along the near sideline. Strauss Daniel plays it for McHugh. McHugh, outlet pass across midfield, received by the senior Patrick Gornell, 32 in black. However, he's stripped along our near sideline. Highlands recovers, and for the Highlanders, it's Henderson across midfield. And in comes a flag, as it was Patrick Gornell, the senior, sliding across midfield, trying to stay on sides. As it will be Bosco for the moment with the man advantage, 7-on-6 defensively. A free possession here and a man-up opportunity to come following this Highlands offensive possession as we approach the midway point in quarter number 4. Here's Henderson. Back it out towards the top of the restraining box, towards that near corner, and a great save there by Evan McHugh. Went down to meet that one, as it looked like Henderson tried to beat him off stick side to his down near his left foot. It's been offsides called against Bosco, and they'll give Northern Highlands a 6-on-5 man advantage here for the next 30 seconds as we hit the 6-minute mark here in quarter number 4. Again, Bosco commanding 16-3 lead. Some other contests going on as I was kind of listing off here on Saturday. Mentioned the Bergen County round 1. Highlands will be in action against, they'll be in action against, I believe it was Paramus. I have that right? It was Paramus, number 12 team in that bracket. And as I mentioned, Don Bosco heading out to St. Anthony's to take on the top team in New York, the Friars, a nationally ranked program. Here's a shot from Ethan Sue from the far hash. Sidearm shot, sails high wide of the cage. Also on Saturday, some other heavyweight New York versus New Jersey matchups. Iona Prep will be traveling to Seton Hall Prep to take on the number 3 Pirates. Top team in New Jersey, Del Barton, heading to Chaminade. As I mentioned before, last Thursday it was Chaminade, I believe, in 11-10. It was for certain a 1-goal win over St. Anthony's, as that was Sue dodging to his left, kept the stick in his right hand, a kick save by Evan McHugh. Possession will stay right here with Northern Highlands. It's O'Callahan, played behind for 27 in white. That's Brendan Monagle. And the ball found its way to O'Callahan. He's stripped. And it's James O'Hara, backup goalie, number 8 in black, across midfield, and a touch on the restraining box. And a skip into one by Carson Chervin, this senior LSM, 33 in black. His shot off the mark. Chervin hunting his first career goal, the University of Tampa commit. As for Highlands, the only commit I was able to confirm was 6 in white, the senior Ethan Sandloff, also heading to Tampa next season. So 2 future teammates here competing this evening as we hit the 4-minute mark. As for some other Saturday contests, Pingaree will be heading to Westfield, number 9 versus number 7 here in the Garden State. Bridgewater Raritan, number 16 in New Jersey, will head to Rumson Fairhaven, the number 20 team in New Jersey, who also, as I mentioned earlier, hosting Summit tomorrow. And as I mentioned, Bosco heading out to St. Anthony's to take on the Friars, a 4:30 p.m. start from St. Anthony's. Ball on the ground, nice ground ball there by Highlands. It was Goswami, the junior, heading north across midfield. And then on the other end of it, a shot missed. It'll be Bosco to initiate from the end line as we approach 3 minutes to play. Here's McHugh, looking for an outlet pass, and unable to find his intended target. It's number 10 in black. Nice pass. Finds its intended target. That's 17, Tice Weinkauf. First goal, not just the 2025 season, but first goal for Weinkauf here in his varsity career. Weinkauf, a class of 2027, just a sophomore, makes our score 17-3. Again, a running clock as we hit the 2:30 mark.
Don Bosco goal scored by number 17, Tice.
So Bosco, they'll improve to 8-3 on the 2025 season. And head coach Matt Lane's second season as head coach. As for Northern Highlands, they will drop to 7-6. And again, Highlands looking ahead to Saturday's Bergen County round 1 and hopefully a win. And with the win, Highlands would then head, I have it somewhere here, winner of that game between Northern Highlands and Paramus would then take on the number 4 team in the Bergen County tournament. That is Ramapo. Ramapo entering the New Jersey top 20 for the first time this season at number 17 in this week's latest edition of the NJ.com top 20. So for Bosco, a team that scores just over 9.5 goals per game, 17 here this evening. Currently ties a season high in their win in game number 2 on the road at Iona Prep. That was a 17-11 win. Here's Henderson, hound by Strauss Daniel. Ball back on the ground, Henderson fighting for it. Help comes his way, but it's Daniel unable to almost come up with it, trying to hockey it back onto the playing field, but it goes out of play along the end line. Be Highlands possession here as we hit the minute mark. Bosco 17-3, commanding lead. Again, they'll improve to 8-3 on the season. Highlands to fall to 7-6. A flag will come in. Here's O'Callahan, and a shuffle shot there. Kept the stick in his right hand. Nifty finish there for the junior
Highlands
to
goal
net the
scored
hat
by
trick, his
number
18th
4.
goal of 2025. Should wipe off the penalty, will stay all even. As we're inside 30 seconds. So 17-4 lead for the Ironmen. We'll see if we even get another face-off. It looks like Highlands inside 15 seconds. Just going to head on over to their goalie, Liam Hill, as that's going to do it here this evening. Bosco, a commanding Bergen County and Gibbs Division win, 17-3 here from Granatell Stadium. As I mentioned, the Ironmen improving to 8-3, Highlands to fall to 7-6.
Final score, Don Bosco 17.
For Don Bosco,
Highlands
Scott Conti
3.
at the face-off stripe here on Senior Day.
Congrats again,
the decorated
seniors.
senior
Four.
on a
Sorry.
show.
4, you're right. I can't count.
A massive day from
Good thing I teach
Conti
math.
at the face-off stripe. And then your goal scorers. Hudson Villarule, the junior, 5 here on the evening to improve his season total of 15. Brady Cialetti netted 4, 35 now on the 2025 season. John Dever scored 2. Dashell Lane, the sophomore, scored 2. James Greenhut netted a goal for himself. As for, I'll flip here to my other street, Patrick Martinez, the long pole, his first career goal. And I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I did. A goal-scoring onslaught from the Don Bosco Prep Ironmen. As for Northern Highlands, it was a hat trick for Jack O'Callahan, Ethan Sue. I believe the first goal for Highlands that make up 4 goals. We appreciate you joining us here this evening here on SSP Video Highlights YouTube channel for today's stream of Don Bosco Prep in Northern Highlands. For Ryan Holzbus and cameraman producer Brian Hyde, we appreciate you joining us. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you on the next broadcast live right here on SSP Video Highlights.